Good morning, beloveds. Hello, happy Sunday after Thanksgiving. Hi. Thank you. Wow, it's so great to be alive on this beautiful day, isn't it? Look out there. It's so peaceful, is it not? Aren't we fortunate? We're so blessed. Thank you for being here. Hey, let's begin by turning to one another and saying thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's such a great way to start. Oh, yeah. Thank you. So I don't know about y'all, but this morning it was like 45 degrees, which is super cold in San Luis Obispo. But it was cold. We got out of bed and it was just like, oh man, just wanted to crawl back in, and cover up and turn up that electric blanket and just get cozy. And we've been dog sitting, and so even the little dog, she usually sleeps on the couch by herself because she's super independent, almost like a cat, but she was in our bed. It was like, it's cold when the dog is there warming up with you, So thank you. I acknowledge your presence and what it took for you to come here today. Yeah, right? It's a great day. And so here we are wrapping up this month of November, which has been all about harvesting inner abundance. That has been our seed of awakening here. And the talk title for today is Sharing the Bounty, Spreading Joy and Gratitude. And I just love that because we have really been nurturing this seed of awakening. And, we began the month with cultivating our inner riches, which is about the essence of gratitude. And in week 2 was about sowing seeds of thankfulness. And we talked about the science of mindfulness. And that was all about recognizing that, hey, in order to choose gratitude, we actually have to be mindful. And to be mindful, we have to be in the present moment, right here, right now. And that can be a challenge, And so practicing that mindfulness that gets us into the present moment so that we can choose gratitude. Now, it occurs to me that as with all of these teachings, right, there's always someone that says, but what about, what about if I'm feeling bad? Or what about if I'm having a horrible, terrible, no good, very bad day? You ever had one of those? You're laughing because it's true, right? It's not to say that you're not going to experience that. We're not denying your actual experience of what's happening, but we're saying, hey, you can hold multiple truths at once. While you may be suffering, you may be sad, you can also know the truth. And knowing that truth and being present and mindful of what you know to be real, which is the God of your understanding, whatever you choose to call it, knowing that truth, that softens whatever's happening in your life, doesn't it? Try this at home, right? And know that, yeah, you may be suffering, you may be feeling an experience of otherness or sadness or disappointment, and at the same time, Spirit is real in your life and in my life now. Can I get an amen? Amen. Right? Thank you. And so, so then we went into week 3, which was about reaping the harvest, living in that grateful abundance. And for those of you here last Sunday, you remember we had Mark Stanton Welch as our musician, and then we had our amazing practitioners facilitate the service. How about that? Can we give them some love? Yeah, we had Kristen, who's holding high watch here now, and Norma and Gina. They each did 5 minutes. Well, they were assigned 5 minutes, but Kristen wins the prize because she did 5 minutes and 4 seconds. Let's give her some love. That's the prize, my dear. And then Norma was next, and she did like 7 minutes and something. We still love you, Norma. And Gina did 8 minutes. What? Great talk, though. Let's give them all some more love. It can be challenging to stay in that limited amount of time, as you know from me, right? My intention is usually like a 15 or 20-minute talk, but sometimes it goes like 30 or 35 minutes. But like you guys are super engaged. I mean, if something happened where you all like did this mass exodus, I would probably go, I better tone it down. But it's like we're going somewhere, and what happens for me is I get inspired by Spirit, and it wants to say certain things, and it gets fired up. And so thank you for loving me anyway. And we love our practitioners who went longer than 5 minutes. It's all right. Right. And so today, this leads us into today, which is sharing that bounty, spreading the joy and gratitude. And so for us, we're called to remember that who we are being is affecting the world. Who we are being is affecting our inner biological system, right? It's affecting our cells. Who we are being is affecting the people around us in our immediate family, our friends, our coworkers, our pets even. Who we are being is affecting the world. And our consciousness makes a difference. And so we have gone through this is the fourth week, the fourth Sunday, and we have gone through the cultivation and cultivating that inner richness, and then sowing the seeds of thankfulness, reaping the harvest, and now we share the bounty. So you imagine, you go out and you harvest. You get all your good crops, right? Now you've got basket loads of crops, like Linda Boyce came in with a basket of oranges or cuties or whatever. From Anna. So Anna's always bringing us and sharing her harvest with us. But this is about you sharing your harvest of that gratitude, that inner gratitude, and that harvest of joy, Because it's in us. We know that it's in us. It's the thing that guides us and keeps us with a little bit of hope, Whenever you have that inkling of hope in those moments of darkness or despair, that's it, right? It's in you. It's always in you. So that's where we're at. And so I wanted to share a story about a hike that my beloved husband and I did one time. We were hiking a hill behind our condo, and we were talking and laughing, and suddenly we were starting to really feel the pain of this hike. It was a little steep, and we weren't quite used to that, and we were feeling it in our bodies. And I said, hey, let's share our gratitude. And of course, he agreed. And so we began to share gratitude back and forth about all the things we were grateful for. And we were feeling quite giddy inside, because gratitude has a way of lightening us, right? It just lightens the load, And so we were feeling quite good in our state of gratitude, and stopped for a moment because we had our thermoses of coffee in our hands, and we needed to stop and take a sip of that delicious, good coffee. And I looked down on the trail, and I saw in some rocks in the formation of a heart. And it was like, Wonder Twin powers, activate, form of rocks, shape of heart. Thank you for getting me, Rebecca. Right? And I recognized in that moment that before sharing our gratitude with each other, we were just walking on a rocky dirt hill, beginning to feel the pain physically. After the sharing of gratitude, though, it was like we received a kiss from the universe. And I felt a connection in that moment to all of life. There was a sense of oneness, as if the universe was seeing me, and it was a oneness with everything. And so this is a reminder that having an attitude of gratitude actually does alter our perspective and allows us to create consciously, finding more to be grateful for. Sign me up, right? Now, years ago, before I found Science of Mind, I was in a 12-step program, and I remember talking with my sponsor one day. I had called her because something happened, and I was very upset. I was anxious and irritable and spewing out my negative victimhood drama to her. Can anyone relate to that? She stopped me in my tracks, though. She was like, wait a minute. She was totally over it. She didn't want to hear it. And I, of course, thought, how rude. I'm in the middle of telling my story, and this is a good one, right? I thought it was so rude. I was being so raw and vulnerable in my sharing. So thankfully, I know better now. But she stopped me and said, name 10 things you're grateful for right now. And I thought, what? I was baffled, because I had to switch gears. I wanted to be in that story. It was a good one, and I wasn't done telling it. But I had to switch those gears and go from that drama of my negativity and my story into thinking about what I was grateful for. The two can exist at once. So I felt this gratitude wash over me and through me as I started naming what I was grateful for in my life. And I recognized that there was a shift. And that story didn't have as much power anymore. And what had more power was the gratitude and all of the goodness that I could see. So shift happens, and shift happened for me that day. And it can happen for you too. And now that you have this in your tool bag, you can access it and use it anytime you need it. So I knew that when I started to go down the route of darkness and negativity, I could shift my mindset instantly with that gratitude. It's such a powerful tool. We have that power. You have that power. Wow. So after that, I bought a journal, and I devoted this journal to gratitude and vowed to list 10 new things twice a day for which I was grateful for. And it was a powerful experience. And so that shift really helped me to build some new neural pathways, right? Because that's what we're doing. Whenever we choose a different thought pattern or a different way to behave, we're actually building these new neural pathways in our brain that help us. It's like digging a trench, right? Or, you dig something and then the water starts to trickle down that way, but you keep digging until it's pretty clear in that trench, and then it goes full throttle. And so at first you're practicing, and then you've built that new pathway, and it's just automatic. That's what we're going for, right? And I know you all know the power of gratitude and how to use this, and now the calling is for us to actually use it in our own lives and share that with others. Because as we become grateful ourselves, we become more generous and lighter and more joyful. And by being those in the world, by being in that state of consciousness, we're participating, we're contributing to creating a world that works for all. And we want that, don't we? Yeah. So, give thanks and command the law to work. We're going to talk about Jesus a little bit because I haven't talked about him yet this month. And so we believe in this teaching that Jesus was the great example rather than the great exception, and that we all have access to God through the consciousness of Jesus Christ. And so it's not through Jesus the man who is no longer physically here, because that would just be sad, right? He's not here, so therefore we no longer have access. We're done. No, thank you. I don't believe that. We don't believe that here. We believe that it's through the consciousness that Jesus had, right? And so we're tuning into that consciousness. We are learning about that consciousness and how to access that consciousness that is already within us inherently. So God wouldn't only allow Jesus the man to know this goodness. That's not the God we believe in. So Jesus always gave thanks and commanded the outcome, and it would manifest. He never asked God to answer his prayers and thought, maybe this will work, right? You never heard that, did you? He was never like, God, I hope this works because everyone is watching me right now. He knew the power of his word, and he used it to heal the sick, to raise the dead, and to feed the hungry. He commanded that Lazarus come out of his tomb. He did it. Thank you, God, blah, blah, blah. Lazarus, come out. And Lazarus got up and walked out. He commanded that the sick man take up his mat and walk. Take up thy mat and walk. He didn't say, oh, God, can you help this guy take up his mat? I mean, I don't know if it's going to work, but take up thy mat and walk. He fed the multitudes with a few loaves of bread and a couple of fish. It was like the bottomless salad at Olive Garden, you know? He gave thanks and then went about his work. And so when we start by giving thanks, we can then reach that level of conviction within us and command the law to work. Give thanks and command the law to work. So Jesus practiced gratitude, and we ought to as well, you know? He said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I know that you always hear me, but I say this for the benefit of the people standing here, so they may believe that you sent me. And then he called out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. Lazarus, come out. Whoa. What's the thing in you that you have allowed to go dormant? Is it time? Yes, it's time for that aspect within you, whatever your Lazarus is, to come out. Whether it's your healing, whether it's love, whether it's kindness, commitment, devotion, relationship, come out. Let me be all that I came here to be. Let me dissolve the barriers that are keeping me from experiencing all that I came here to be. Yes? I'm ready. I am ready. Lazarus, come out. And then, expanding on that miracle of the loaves and fishes, he was preaching to a crowd of thousands, and they were hungry and they needed to be fed, and Jesus asked his disciples to feed them. And his disciples were like, hey, look, we need to send these people back to their villages. There's not enough food. We don't have enough. We don't have enough to feed them, and we're in this remote location. It's not going to happen. And Jesus was like, we're not done here. We're not done. The disciples were only able to muster up 5 loaves and 2 fishes, and there were 5,000 people to feed. And Jesus took those 5 loaves and 2 fish, looked up to heaven and thanked God, and then he broke the bread and placed the pieces in baskets, handing them to the disciples to distribute to the people, and the baskets were never depleted. I always think of that Olive Garden, right? Have you guys been to the Olive Garden? You order that salad, they just keep bringing it. They just keep bringing it, right? They just keep on bringing it. Oh, it's so good to recognize that Jesus gave thanks and commanded the law to work, and that consciousness lives within me, and I can access it. Give thanks for everything and command the law to work. That means we're giving thanks for our clothes, and I just see such creative beauty in here on this glorious day, you know. Outfits put together. You got up, and even though it was cold, went to your closet and put together some great outfits. Look around. I see some bling over here. I know, right? It's like, wow, you guys are amazing. Just look around at the fashion and beauty and creativity. It's so awesome, isn't it? Look at us. We're amazing. I totally got distracted. I was looking at your beautiful shawl. And then distracted by Nancy's bling over there. Wow. We give thanks and command the law to work. Back to the center here. You know, we're grateful. That's what it was about. For our clothes, we're grateful for all the things we already have in our lives, right? The heater. We're grateful for coffee. We're grateful for our musicians and the singers and the beautiful voices. And we're grateful for Travis and our friends and our spiritual community and the cameras. And We're grateful for our Zoomers and everyone and everything. And if there's something that we need, we're going to give thanks and command the law to work. That's what it's about. Even when it appears like it can't, Like the disciples, hey, we're gonna have to send them home, man. We can't feed these people. Jesus didn't believe that. He took the higher road, gave thanks, and commanded the law to work. I love that. So the calling for us is to really be like Jesus. Give thanks and command the law to work. And so circling back to the last few weeks, our first week of the month, again, my friends, cultivating inner riches, the essence of gratitude. Week 2 was about sowing seeds of thankfulness, the science of mindfulness. Week 3, reaping the harvest, living in grateful abundance. Week 4 is about sharing the bounty, spreading the joy and gratitude. So the beautiful thing is, you've learned it. If you don't have it by now, I don't know what to tell you, but we've covered it ad nauseum, right? We even have this amazing journal, which, by the way, is such a beautiful work of art. If you haven't picked up this journal, we have 11 on the desk back there that are for sale, and wow. And so you need to get at least one of these. We need to get rid of all of those. We can't bring them back to our office. Susan has given me strict orders. Just kidding if you're watching. But seriously, this is one of those books that make a great stocking stuffer. Wow. And it is good for you. If you don't have it, you need it. It doesn't have to just be for November, right? This is the kind of book that you could just open up and there's some wisdom on a page. For instance, this says, I deserve the best in life. And then over the next several pages, I'd like to return to the topic of deserving and explore it in more detail. So you get to be grateful for what you deserve. Now, you may think you don't deserve much. You may discover that you've been acting like you aren't deserving. But the truth is, you deserve everything. You deserve all that your heart desires. And it's possible and available to you. All that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. This little book of mine, it's so good. Please consider picking that up and reviewing it. It could be on your nightstand and just like something that you go to for divination, any day. You just open it to any page. I love that kind of book. Now, what we have for our call to action this week, I thought it would be fun or Spirit thought it would be fun for us to do a little scavenger hunt. So this is a gratitude scavenger hunt, right? Now I'm going to pass these out and I'll review these with you. You can do this today or just work on it through the week if you choose to accept this homework. So I'm going to give these to you. If you'll take one and pass it around. And this side as well. Thank you. So while those are going around, I'm going to review these. Number 1 is find something that makes you happy. Number 2, you guys all right? Okay. Find something. Number 1 was find something that makes you happy. Number 2, find something to give someone else to make them smile. Number 3, find one thing that you love to smell. Number 4, find one thing you enjoy looking at. Number 5, find something that's your favorite color. Number 6, find something you are thankful for in nature. Number 7, find something that you can use to make a gift for someone. And number 8, find something that is useful for you. And this is another fun little way for you to practice gratitude this week. And I would love to hear about what you find. If you want to text me or post it on our Facebook page or email us, whatever it is, we'd love to hear from you guys and hear about your experience of all of this. I, for one, I'm looking forward to doing this starting this afternoon as soon as we leave here. Sharing the bounty, spreading joy and gratitude. Consider how you might spread joy and gratitude this week as we wrap up this month of November. We've got, 4 days left, including today of November, and then we're moving into December. Wow. Can we be grateful for the rest of the year? Why does it have to just be November? Yeah. But let us continue to share this bounty, and it's the bounty that is within us, the bounty of joy and gratitude. Friends, this month, to wrap it up, we've harvested our inner abundance. We've explored and cultivated the richness within ourselves and realized our personal wealth beyond material possessions, focusing on gratitude and mindfulness to recognize the abundance that's present in our lives. And I'm going to invite Travis up to get ready for our closing prayer. And as he does so, reminder, buy the book, do your scavenger hunt, and give thanks and command the law to work. Pretty easy, right? Yeah. So go ahead and do whatever you need to do to get comfortable. You can place your items in your lap on the ground or on the chair next to you. Stretch if you need to stretch. Scratch your nose. Fluff your hair. Do the hokey pokey. And join me in turning your attention inward. I like to close my eyes, but if you choose to do so, you can keep your eyes open and gently rest them a few feet in front of you. Whatever works for you, my friends. And let that gentle music take you on a journey. It's like a journey out into the cosmos. We're just floating in the grateful goodness. We're in that flow, in the flow of life, in the flow of love. With that sweet sound, I recognize that it is spirit. Everything that we're experiencing right now in the manifested form, this is all the body of God. The entire manifest universe is the body of God. Everything that we see and feel and experience is all a product of the thing itself and a product of our thinking and the way that we have co-created this experience with the divine. And I'm so grateful in this moment to remember that spirit is expressing itself in me, as me, and through me, just as it is expressing itself in, as, and through each individual here. And I'm grateful. And I allow this gratitude to wash over me and through me. It's like this pure divine light coming through the top of my head and illuminating every single cell in my body. And this is happening for each individual here and viewing us on Zoom. And we feel this appreciation wash over us. And as it does so, we are unconstrained. There is no limit to the good in our lives. There are no barriers that would prevent us from experiencing all the good that Spirit has for us right now and all the good that's on its way. And we feel it right now. We are connected to it. And feeling that gratitude and thankfulness, appreciation. We recognize that it is Spirit. And as we continue to court the divine in all of our thoughts, in all of our words, and all of our deeds, we allow this gratitude to come forth and to be shared in the world. We can share this gift of joy that lives within us. We can share this gift of gratitude and generosity that lives within us. We can share a smile. We can share our attention. And we can share all of the good that we experience on the inner realm, in our inner kingdom. We share that with all. Unabashedly. We share it like there's more to give. We share it like it's infinite, because it is. And by doing so, we make the world a better place. And I am so grateful for the love in this room. I'm so grateful for this whole month of gratitude. And I know that as we go forward and into our week and into the beginning of December, we continue to feel this gratitude, and we remember that, yes, my consciousness makes a difference. Who I am being in the world matters. Who I am being in the world matters to me and all of the cells in my body. Who I am being matters to all of those around me, including my pets and my plants, my hobbies, my loves, my interests. Who I am being matters. And as I recognize this, I have no other choice but to be magnificent, to be all that I came here to be. And it is so good. And I am so grateful to get to witness the radiant magnificence of every soul in this room, and for them to experience it on their own throughout the week. God is so good. God is so good. Can you feel that goodness? Oh, thank you, Spirit. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this day. I'm so grateful for feeling grateful. God is good. We are blessed. And I know this prayer is complete as I release it into the loving and creative action of the law, knowing it is so, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Zoomers, thank you.